protests have broken out against the latest ordinance that has been announced in PoK. So widespread protests have erupted. The situation is tense in PoK. We have more details coming in. As far as the situation is concerned, controversial presidential ordinance has restricted public gatherings despite its suspension from the PoJK Supreme Court on December 3rd. Now, the joint Awami Action Committee has organized a wheel jam and shutter down strike demanding the repeal of the ordinance and the release of detainees. And the ordinance, which was approved last month by PoJK President Barrister Sultan Mehmood, imposed several penalties on public protests and rallies, sparking widespread resentment across the region. Again, there's gross human rights violations here as well in PoJK. People's gatherings are being cracked down upon by this presidential ordinance, which has restricted public gatherings, despite the ordinance being suspended by the PoJK Supreme Court on December 3rd. We have Gursimran also live from Jammu. Gursimran, tell us about what's happening in PoJK, because the controversial presidential ordinance has attracted a lot of flack from the public.
See, the people are saying that this is a clear violation of the Article 19 that provides them the right to speech and also right to protest against what is happening wrong against them. Because what we have seen in the Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir, that the people have been subjected to the Pakistanis atrocities because the region has been converted into a colony, and what the Pakistani administration is doing in the Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir, that is very clear to all. Now, the ordinance that has been passed by the president of the so-called Azad Jammu Kashmir, which is Pakistan illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Barrister Sultan Mehmood, that calls for a clampdown on any kind of protest. That means in Pakistan, if you have to raise your voice, you have to get a nod from the administration, and also you have to be registered. Otherwise, you cannot raise your voice. Against this ordinance, the people of the Pakistan, this all campaign that was led by Joint Awami Committee that has called for a complete ban in the Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Though this law ordinance has been suspended by the Supreme Court of the Jammu and Kashmir, the Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but what the people say, that it is not about the suspension, but it is about that why such laws are being brought into, because Pakistan has converted the Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir into a colony of itself, in which it is selling its resources to the Chinese side, and the people have been left on the mercy of the God, because Pakistan only wants that land to be used for their benefits. And now these kind of diktats that are being given using the Pakistan's ordinance that are coming from presidential ordinance, that clearly says the reality of the on-ground situation, and that is why there have been widespread protests, the Chakka Jam that was called by the Joint Awami Action Committee in Pakistan. And now the government, the PTI, has also extended the supports to the people of Pakistan Occupied Jammu and Kashmir, that their demands are legitimate, but what the president of the PoJK is doing is completely illegal, and also the December 3rd decision of the Supreme Court has also said so.